Hello, and welcome back to Bacon Flavored Podcasts, our Mecha versus Kaiju Eye of the Storm game. So as it turns out, some players are missing, and some did not do their homework, so bonus episode, we're gonna build some mechs and some pilots. Alright. Yeah. Alright. Somewhere. Alright. Amazing. Alright, so like last time with the Prelude episodes, I am joined by CJ and D. And today they will be building their dumb little anime pilots and their dumb big anime robots. Alright. So, at least for me, when I've made some test characters and the totally not TF2 classes for the prologue, I kind of started like character first and then started stapling the mechanics to them second. So if either of you have like a idea for your pilot first, then we can start working backwards from there. But if you just want to go through step by step and try to suss out who you want to be, we can do that. So who would like to go first? Alright, D, you're up. Well, too late. CJ already said that one. You want to be the cool guy? Oh, well. So I just remembered it's like 4 a.m. for you. So, oh yeah, from Fearsome Warrior. Oh, I just realized your names are... on the OBS, your names are attributed to the wrong image. So, yeah, that one's on me. Alright, so, starting on page 21 of the PDFs are the archetypes. So, if you don't have a... Yeah, so if you don't have an idea on what character you want to build off the bat, the archetypes are kind of a cool little jumping on point to yeet yourself into character creation. They kind of take the place of classes and other games, and each one comes with their own unique talent. So, for instance, right off the bat, there is Baka. They are, of course, the kind of standard comedic relief-esque character. And for them, their talent is a full nose after they suffered. So, if you fail a roll, you get to add a d6 whenever you reattempt that same type of roll. And some are like... if you're trying to use your family name to boss people around, you get a d6 to your dice pool when intimidating people. Or some, it's just a thing they have, like the magical girl, I believe, can just talk to spirits. And the telepath has just telepathy. It's like these are things they can always do. I believe in you. You have coffee. Oh my god. The yes. So, one moment. Okay, so for the robots, the humanoid ones are typically 60 feet or around 18 meters tall. The quadruped ones or multiple limbed ones, would obviously be shorter but have about the same amount of mass. If you want to go bigger than that 60 feet, then I was actually thinking about this earlier. You would want to, if you wanted to be bigger than that 60 feet, we'd have to start putting in some superstructure stuff for your mech. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we... Okay, yeah, I like that. Fair enough. So, yeah, if... yeah. So, yeah, if we wanted to start with the robot and work our way backwards, we can totally do that, too. Okay. Okay, so there are two right off the bat I can think of that are kind of like that. So there's the Kaiju Taku, which is just like you know your stuff about kaijus. So once per turn, when you communicate your knowledge of a kaiju to another person, add your kinship die to the other character's pool. So you're basically telling people about this kaiju and giving one of your dice to them in addition to the rest of their dice pool. Then there's the other one, the Gao Gao. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Gou. And that one has a talent, anything for you. So when you take an action to primarily benefit the leader, you get to add a d6 to your pool. So, let's see. Then, depending, there's other ones like the Genkai, which has motor mouth. So when you're constantly talking during your action, you get to add a d6 to your dice pool. Or if you want to be selfish with your stuff, Dorodoro gets a extra die to your dice pool if you're only benefiting yourself. So the Dorodoro is kind of the antithesis of the Gao Gao. Okay. So, Kaiju kaiju taco. I'd eat it. Kaiju taco. Mouth no do good work. So, under your values, bump up kinship to an 8, D8. Alright. So, on the other side of your sheet, put down kinship as your guiding value under archetype. Actually, don't forget to put Kaiju Taku in your archetype as well. Yes. I think that might just be a her thing. I don't know what's going on with her. Sonia's a weirdo. No. Okay, so guiding value is kinship. Under affinity, municipal or scientific, so are you like a active research for the sake of science, or are you using your research to help the community? Alright. Alright, and you can take just copy expert advice down under where talent is. Yes. Kind of, sort of. For Kaiju Taku specifically, it's like you tell the GM how your knowledge is helping them. So it's like, so yeah, it could be anything as much, especially for me, because I know that sometimes people brain no do good for characters smarter than them. It could be like, yeah, I have done my research on this kaiju, so I will tell people about the weak spot of this kaiju. Like, it could be something like that, or it could be like, yeah, so what you're going to want to do is shoot the flame sack under its left third nipple. Now, it has to be that flame sack, because if you hit the other flame sack, that's just going to supercharge it. Yeah. Amazing.
Genius. I should have done
Yeah.
that.
See?
All right. So, which direction would you feel best tackling this character? Values, styles, aspect, style, value, style
East.
first, like.
Um, I have no idea.
Okay, do you want to think on that and we move over to CJ's archetype?
I won't be thinking while I'm listening. Um,
Amazing.
but yes, move on to CJ, and then I will pretend to have thought after you're done with CJ.
Can do. Alright, so the one class besides now Kaiju Taku that has been picked is the Hyakasu, the tease. That is Matt's character. He is a dad in Extreme Dad. But
Not a tease. Like a tease, like a little sexy tease.
could
Or
be,
like a
it could also be like someone who taunts or is kind of arrogant. Yeah, like the main poster child of this game, Lieutenant Ace. If you scroll up to page 18 with him, I believe he is also a tease.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not sexy, but
Yeah.
I get it. So I was thinking Kamina from Gurren Lagann, not to steal too much, but that's my inspiration of kind of like, see, he's cool, but he's not cool. He's not like too cool for things cool. He's cool in that like he's awesome and he's really good at driving mechs and he hops right into danger without a second thought and like. So I was thinking like that kind of cool archetype, but I really don't think it fits what I want to play because it's kind of like you're cool-headed, like nothing really gets to you. But I want to play like the emotional, like I'm thinking hero kind of archetype, but it's very militarized. But I don't know. What do you think?
All
It's like
right.
someone who's like willing to jump into danger and like to save their teammate or to get in a hit. Kind of like the backbone of the group. Not necessarily the leader, although it can be, but more the backbone.
All right. Let's see. Okay, so for the hero archetype, the Yusha,
Mm-hmm.
it does say that when you're interacting with someone who knows about your heroism, so that could be like very loosely like applied.
Something I did
Yeah,
rather than like a tour that I took in
yeah.
some part of the world. Okay.
Let's see.
You will never leave a teammate behind. I like that, even if it means you may fall. Yeah, that's what I was saying, pretty much. Your bravery can border on foolhardiness. Yeah, okay. I think ignoring the picture, I like it a lot more.
Yeah,
I just saw a guy in a military outfit. I'm like, ah.
yeah. He's kind of like what you would expect a hero to be in a mecha anime. Or your standard like Gundam's mecha anime. But I could also totally see that kind of character being sorted or being reflavored as a hot-blooded communist style. Also, one of the affinities he has, clandestine, is straight up like, oh, you can boost your drive on an action or counter related to secret or illegal activities. Or navigating in dangerous social circles.
I like that.
Yeah, so it could.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he could straight up be like, what Kamina was, just kind of like a street urchin troublemaker who wound up in a mech at some point.
Okay. So, okay. Yeah, the self-reliance as a guiding value seems playable more than. Let me go back to this other one
To
that I almost.
Kuru. Let's see. Yeah, he was composed. Yeah, this guy is just a cool-headed
Yeah.
individual.
Okay, I think Guided by self-reliance. Now, do I have a sort of option like Kaiju Taku kind of did, where they have to choose whether they're doing things for the good of the group or for science?
Yes, that is your clandestine or military. It's basically how legit you are, like from a professional sense. Like, are you militarily trained, or are you just kind of more of a back alleys kind of person?
You know what though? Like, I can kind of see, like some types they just end up in the military, and like they're not military types, but they work really well in the military because it gives them like guidance and structure and stuff. But they can still be the kind of loose cannon. So let me just see. Okay, boost your drive on an action. This is what you were saying. Secret or illicit activities. Remaining undetected or navigating in dangerous social circles, or understanding weapons and vehicles, experience with field support equipment, or maintaining a disciplined and obedient mindset. Ooh, I can lean both ways, but I think it's more fun to be related to secret, illicit, dangerous activities. So I think I'll choose that.
Nice. All right. So, yeah, put clandestine under affinity. Your hey, aren't you talent? And
Beautiful. Anything else for this portion?
let's see. Did you boost your self-reliance to a D8 over under values?
I did now.
All right. So, you know what? Since we're still in the values section, and you kind of have more of a solidified pile of nougat than a D for your character. We'll mess with the values.
A solidified pile of nougat.
Yes.
That's quite the image. I like it.
Yes. All right. So, self-reliance and kinship, those are locked into what they are. But for composure and passion and ferocity and spirituality, you can lower the die size of one and bump up the die size of the other if you want. So, if you want the character to be more wild, then you can lower the D6 in composure to a D4 and bump passion to a D8. Or the same with the spirituality and ferocity.
What kind of nature and faith it says. Could I believe, like, for example, if I believed in the heart of the cards?
I would say that would be
that
spirituality.
Spirituality. Ooh, this is tough. Like, obviously I want to be ferocious sometimes, but I like having that, like, guidance of, like, that spirituality aspect. I might just keep both.
Yeah,
D6.
keeping both D6 is also perfectly fine.
I kind of want him to be not like really a jack of all trades, but like enough, like good enough in a lot of stuff that he can at least, because he's going to be throwing himself into the mix a lot of the time. So I don't want him to like have D4s on like every roll in certain situations.
That's perfectly understandable.
I think I'm okay. D6, D6, D6. Is there a mech that's like the what would be called the what does Batman have on his freaking belt? What's that called? Utility belt. Is there like a utility belt?
We can kind of look into seeing what you want to do as a utility mech.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Also, speaking as on Matt's behalf, as he is not here because he is having a vacation with his significant other. His mech is kind of sort of utilitarian in the sense that it can give other mechs damage or elemental damage that they can do.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, you do not have to worry about elemental damage types. So, we will slide back over to D. Have you pretended to think?
I have pretended to think.
All right. Which stats would you like to futz with?
Let's just go by the book.
All right. So we have our doodad. So now we are going to traits. So, yeah, if you're, but yeah, if your idea is not solidified enough, we can skip the aspects, since those are like very much the character's personality and how they act and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have ideas for that, or?
Yeah, I think I've got some ideas.
All right. So, yeah, you have identity, idiosyncrasy, core drive, conflict drive, mission. Well, you don't have to worry about the mission motive. Like, that one is... Effectively, I'll be telling you what the mission aspect is. Motive and machinations. So motives are like short-term goals, machinations are long-term goals. Core and conflict drive are diametrically opposed. And identity is just like a thing about your character, and idiosyncrasy is kind of like a character tick or, you know, something that makes them, yeah.
Okay, let's see. For identity, I love that the examples go from like awkward bookworm to haunted pilot living in the past.
Yeah.
Power hungry middle manager is amazing.
Yeah, that one's kind of great.
Solitary scientist board world. What? Okay, yeah. Let's go with I'm trying to figure out how to word it succinctly. Obsessed information collector.
Okay. That sounds like we can work with that.
Where do
That would be next to identity, the D6.
Oh, I just write it out next to it.
Yep. Oh, identity drive is supposed to have a rank of D4. That must have changed. Okay, so change identity to a D4.
Yep. Okay.
All right, and idiosyncrasy.
See how it is playing favorites. CJ can shift his dice around, and for me, it's just like, oh no, that's too powerful. You get a D4 in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just found it important to have noticed that I have noticed the thing.
Yeah. So, idiosyncrasies. They can be anything from a catchphrase to just a thing you do. So, yeah, some examples are always be vigilant, prefers animals to people, I've got a bad feeling about this, time to rage, so on and so forth. So, do you have...
It's never a good time for a Harrison Ford reference. I think... I don't know if it's like... Is it doubling down too much if I say always watching?
Obsessive information gatherer and always watching. I feel like those two can be used differently.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, one feels like, you know, just kind of a general keeping an eye on the area, and the other one feels more like a focused, I'm going to figure out about this thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd allow those two.
Okay. I will avail myself of this magnanimity.
All right. So, core and conflict drives. Those are, like I said before, diametrically opposed ideals. They're basically two driving forces your character has, which, if both appeared in the same instance, would lead your character to, a conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So, examples in the book are put my family first versus destroy kaiju at all cost. Avenge my parents' death versus maintain a peaceful city, so on and so forth.
Okay, and let's see, core and driving conflict drive same time. They're in conflict, blah blah. With the help of your GM, that you make 2 drives. As clear, simple, and strongly opposed as you can. Makes it easier for you to invoke them during the game. Some players will find it easier to make. Okay, but which is there like a definition of which does what, kind of?
So, no.
Okay.
Mostly that one has to be kind of the opposite of the other, so.
Yeah, but like.
Oh.
Is there, because like, what this is reminding me of is like the way a lot of the World of Darkness stuff is set up, where you always have like 2 things that are on the opposite ends of each other, but they're always like related to something. So like for werewolves, are kind of like in between a spirit world and the real world. The one thing is like more towards the real world, and the other is more towards the spirit world. Or like within the normal World of Darkness setup, you have like your thing of the one thing is like more towards yourself and selfish and your own aspiration, and the other thing is more towards your community and stuff. So is there like any
There are no guidelines for that explicitly,
Okay.
but yeah, for me personally, I would have one of these be like a personal drive, and then the other one be more like a professional drive.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter which is which.
Nope, not really.
Okay. Well, I suppose since I'm a kaiju taku, I am going to say that my core drive would be, how do I put this? Learn everything about kaiju. Would that work? Like I'm not going towards the idea, like the book offers me destroy kaiju at all costs, but I'm not going towards that, more like towards actually like knowing about them.
All right, and what would the conflict for this be?
Forget everything about kaiju. No, the conflict would be difficult to figure out here.
Yeah, we can come back to this one if you want.
Maybe I'll let it stew for a while.
Yeah. So, short-term and long-term goals. Do you have any in mind for motive and machination?
I don't have any in mind at the moment.
Okay, well, we'll come back to your aspects.
Motive one would be related to whatever like our current story is.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we can come back to your aspects later when the character's more solidified.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, style. These are where you get to put your points. So, if you scroll to the second page of your character sheet, you see the arrays, yeah, the array, stat arrays. There we go. Wow. You have the standard array, which is 1d8, 2d6, 2d4. The reliable one, which is 4d6, and 1d4. And then the extreme array for like specialists, which is 2d8, 3d4. And you can take any of those arrays and put them between bold, creative, steady, subtle, and swift.
Let's see. I'm gravitating probably towards the standard array.
Safe bet.
So let's put a 4 into bold.
Fair enough.
Let's put a pin in that. Slow but certain action impulse. Yeah, let's put a 4 in fast and nimble. In swift, I mean. And then let's put an 8 into creative and a 6 and a 6 into steady and subtle.
All right. So really creative, kind of steady, kind of subtle, not very bold, not very swift.
Yeah.
Boring.
Boring. I put all my points into bold.
Yeah.
I have no dice in 4 of my stats, and the other stat is a d20.
All right.
Cease to exist when I'm called to be quick.
I just stop and sink into the earth. All right, so that is your style done very quickly and neatly. So now we can go to your values. So, like I worked with backwards with CJ, you have kinship at a D8 and self-reliance at a D6. Those two are locked in, but you can change the dice size of the other 4. And
I think I am going to get that ferocity down and that spirituality up.
all right.
I'm gonna make Metatron.
Okay, I kind of like this. All right, so composure and passion are going to stay where they're at.
Yeah.
All right. So before we move on to mechs, we will go back to CJ.
Back to my solidified pile of nougat.
Yeah.
Let's take a bite.
Yeah, but now it's getting a bit more solidified, so now it's more like peanut brittle.
Oh, I want some peanut brittle so bad.
It hurts my teeth so much.
What is peanut brittle?
Give me your
It-
address.
What the hell is going on with CJ?
Peanut brittle is one of those American things where it's like, why did we make this? It's like hard peanut butter with peanuts in it.
It's
Right.
And-
so oh god.
And you get pieces of it by breaking it because it's that solid.
Yeah.
It's basically edible
Like
obsidian.
glass made out of.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Obsidian. That's good.
Beautiful.
All right. So, do you want to start with aspects or do your style?
Let's do style. 'Cause I have
All
it.
right.
You know me, reliable, all reliable. I think I like that spread. I'm gonna put the D4
Pink.
into being subtle. I think. I
You know,
wanna
that's
make
fair.
strong, decisive actions, unexpected.
Oh wow.
actions,
This is not gonna be a stealth mission, is it?
Nope.
fast and nimble. Yeah. Okay. I think there are times where you can be slow but certain with this kind of character, but to be quiet, I don't know. So
Yeah.
I think that will be D4. Everything else D6.
Sounds
Very
good.
easy.
All right, so we will now start with aspects. What is your character's identity?
Okay. So I spent too much time thinking about my other stuff. Identity.
It could be something as simple as like hot-blooded hero or
Yeah, I want to like slowly get away from Kamina just so I don't play Kamina. So like a take on that, like the hot-headed hero, but like maybe make the reason why I'm hot-headed part of my identity. I'm not exactly haunted, but I'm thinking that kind of like I'm driven by this. Maybe it is kind of haunted. Like there was a time where I didn't act hot-headed, and I waited too long, and I was, my feet were stuck in mental cement, and something bad happened. So I'm avenging, not really maybe avenging. I don't know. Words are failing me, but I'm sure there's a word for like being driven by not making the same mistake again.
Overcorrecting.
I was thinking like regretful survivor.
Regretful survivor. Ooh.
Are you trying to atone for your sins?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a
Can we make
biblical
that
spin on
into
this.
an idea? What's a synonym for atonement?
Repent, redemption.
Oh. Ooh.
Survivor seeking redemption.
CJ, you
Survivor's
are a
guilt.
soundscape upon yourself.
Is there a... Can survivor's guilt be my identity?
Yeah.
Is there a way to phrase that that's...
Probably.
A guilty survivor. There you go. Boom. Guilty survivor. I don't know how that will come into play, but...
We'll find a way.
Oh,
Trust
you know,
me, I'll find a way.
Because it's saying combining two elements, right? So like, I'm a survivor. I do what I have to do in the moment to survive, but I'm guilty, like because of my past, my dark past.
My dark past.
So there you go. I like that. Guilty survivor, and then it kind of puts your head towards having survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So idiosyncrasy.
Would you call me? I've got it, is what I was thinking.
Oh, I kind of like that.
Kind of like I'm not offering like a reason why I can do something. It's like I got it.
Yeah, just a full-on, don't worry, guys, I got this kind of thing.
Got this. And like, does he have this? I don't know.
Narrator, he did not, in fact.
That's for the dice to decide.
Hold on, let me just make sure. So where does identity go in the sheet?
Under aspects, so at the very top there's name. Right below name is aspects. The first thing under aspects is identity.
So I should just write it next to that.
Yep, and also make sure that D6 is a D4.
Identity D4.
Yep. I'm going to change that on this master sheet I'm using. All right. So, do you have an idea for a core or a conflict drive?
Yes. Luckily, I had time to pretend to think as well. The core drive would be to do the cool thing. not necessarily to be cool, but like do a flip. Like doing a flip is cool, or like kind of just do what I think is cool.
All right.
A little bit of a show off.
Okay, so showboating a little bit.
Yeah, and I imagine it's kind of like a coping thing. Like he just does the cool thing, and then if he succeeds, then he's seen as more capable, and he doesn't have to explain his thought process for things. He can just act and do what looks cool, and hope it works out for the best.
Yeah. What do you mean that's a trauma response? Everyone does that.
Everything's gonna be a trauma response. There should be a challenge amongst TTRPG players to make the most untraumatized character. I don't think I could do it.
Just a baker.
All right, so his core drive is to show off, and what is his conflict?
To harken back to the guild thing, maybe just like protect blank at all costs. I'm trying to think of like what friends, or are we playing with like comrades, or
yeah, all the players will be like part of the same squad, so you could have like protect my squad at all costs. Protect those around me at all costs.
Okay, I like that. Those around me. So I think those will conflict, because sometimes like protecting people means not doing the cool thing. And it means like hiding, or fleeing.
Or just taking the hit in a not cool way.
Yeah. Not going after the bad guy to get the last hit, and instead, pulling focus away.
Yeah.
So if you're cool with that, I will write it in ink on the peanut brittle.
Gross.
I didn't say I was gonna eat it.
Oh, okay.
I don't use paper. It's not biodegradable. Wait, paper is the. Never mind. Carry on.
All right. So, next we have motive and machinations. So, if you want to use survivor's guilt as a motive instead of a identity, you can do that. If you have a different identity you would like to put in, but yeah, survivor's guilt would work pretty good for either of those.
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're so right.
Or you can have motive be, something as small as like get a trophy from the kaiju you fight. And
now that you said motive, because I wanted to include this, and I just didn't realize I could do it in motive. So maybe I can keep hot-headed in my identity. Although maybe that does your identity and your core drive, or do they interact?
No, they are everything under aspects would be you would pick one when you make your dice pool.
Okay.
So
because do the cool thing is a little hot-headed.
Yeah, for me, do the cool thing feels more like it is a intentional, like you're choosing to do a kickflip off the kaiju, whereas hot-headed would be like you're rushing in, being fueled purely by motivation and chutzpah.
Hot-headed.
Purely fueled by teenage anime protagonist yelling.
Yeah.
Okay, is hot-headed hero too on the nose?
No, that works.
Hot-headed chutzpah.
Hot-headed chutzpah.
That's cursed.
Hot-headed chutzpah.
Okay, yes, I have changed my identity to hot-headed hero, and put survivor's guilt in my motive.
All right. So, yeah, like I
That
said
feels
before,
good.
machinations are kind of a long. You know what? Machinations are kind of like your character's personal quest sort of thing. Like thinking about it now, it's kind of just your long term goals for the game. And motive is also, like I said, they're short term ones. They can change if you need them to. So while it starts off being survivor's guilt, you can change it later in between missions if you would like.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Can change between missions. So for Machination, should we know more about the campaign before we write that down, or not really?
I can. Actually, I think I have sent everyone, or at least linked the basic information packet to the game.
Now, assuming that we had, like, just hypothetically, a new player who had not seen any of these resources.
Yes, of course.
Okay, there we go. The info packet. So, yeah, for that new player, I would say go check the pinned messages. It's about 4 down. It is in the, it is in the message that says, "All right, punks." But yeah, so
defending our home from a monster invasion.
I'm sorry. I just absolutely love the like. Okay, so this is the Earth, and we have Kaiju, and there's all of this stuff, and then it's just brief history of Hawaii. I just love the hyper focus all of a sudden.
yeah, so hey.
In the meantime, in Stuttgart, Germany.
Hey, I arbitrarily decided that the base was going to be in Hawaii. So then I had to go down a rabbit hole of Hawaii's history before America ruined it.
Are we the superstar team of our region?
Yes.
Perhaps
One
my
moment.
machinations.
Okay.
Could it be to be the superstar team of North America?
Yeah, that's totally legitimate.
Can't just be of Hawaii.
And since I know firsthand how bad players are about naming their own teams, I will assign the squadron a name.
Thank you. Matt, we had one. We spent so long. I forget what it was, but then the DM like told us the names of everyone else who was fighting against us, and they were all so much cooler than ours. Damn, I want to be that. We chose a stupid like what was it? It was like Atomic Rain or something.
Oh,
like,
that
does
is
sound
super
cool,
good.
but it was like I forget what the other ones were, but they were so much better.
Yeah, so in the Mecha vs. Kaiju universe, the squadrons start with Task Force, and then, the name. So Japan's all-star team is Task Force Ichiban, and the American Task Force that I have in the setting already is Task Force Orion.
Ooh, nice.
So yeah, I will. I'll do some looking and some pondering, and I will toss the task force in the chat at some point in the near future.
Nice.
Sounds good.
All right. So, motive and machinations are good for you, along with all the other stuff. D, did you want to come back around to your aspects, or should we move on to robots?
Did I want to come back to my aspects? So for core and conflict, I've kind of like swung over, and I'm thinking maybe for core it could be be in control, and for conflict it would be show no mercy.
Oh, I like those.
I've now kind of come to swing over to, and since I already have a D8 in spirituality, you know, we can do the panopticon flavor with an ex-priest flavor.
Okay.
I still have no idea what to do with motive and machination.
That's perfectly fair. All right, so we will move.
Machination start a cult.
Dispose the current kaiju cults with your own kaiju cult.
Yeah.
All right, so we are now on to mecha creation. That starts on page 48. So your mech has 4 stats: auxiliary, power, superstructure, and weapons. Each of these start at a D8, but much like your values, you can take a point out of one of them and add it to another one to bump it up to a D10. At this point, right now, you cannot go above a D10. Or, no, you can't go above a D12. Nope, 10. So, your auxiliary is your, systems like your radars, your scannings. I believe auxiliary is the stat we use for Matt's elemental buff. Power is how much power your mech generates. For fueling your big dumb lasers or what have you. Superstructure is your mech's actual physical body. It's kind of like when you're taking a hit or lifting something big, so on and so forth. It's your mech's constitution, basically. And weapon is pretty self-explanatory. It is your weapon, and I could have sworn I muted you, phone.
And these all start at a D8.
Yes, these all start at a D8 because they are much bigger than you.
Sick. I mean, I might just keep... if it's giving you the option to be well-rounded, I'll just do that.
All right, so there are... one second. So, yeah, there are a bunch of perks and drawbacks. So, whenever you make a system for your mech, you get a perk and you combine it with a drawback. So, like, if you have a sword, you can have it be, let's see. Sorry, I am frantically scrolling through this because I often misremember things. But yeah, for tool you can have it, or for a sword you can have it be a tool for a drawback because that means you can be disarmed of it, but have it have riposte as a perk, so you can use your sword to attack when you successfully counter an attack, for instance. And if you do not wish to add in the brain power to figure out all of these, starting on page 57 are sample abilities. And pretty much all of these except for Burnout are available, because Burnout is real big. So, yeah, I would probably suggest to start off, we start with the sample abilities. you have 2 construction points for your mechs. So you can... Most of these that have a single green and a single red under the power, those cost 1 construction point. And the ones that have multiple reds and multiple greens cost 2 construction points.
And we start with 2.
Yes.
Goodness. So we either get 1 big one or 2 regular sized ones.
Yeah.
Okay, since I'm going well-rounded, I'm gonna need something to, let's see, maybe heal repair? No, that's I don't want to do a big one yet. Okay, I'm jumping in. Can I take? Yes. Is it? I want to be like both long range and short range.
Bazooka.
So I don't know if that's the cat does not agree. She's not wearing it. She's not happy.
She is not wearing yellow.
So maybe ammo / charges.
Ammo / charges. Alright, so represents a limited energy source, which often makes your life difficult at the worst possible time. Okay, so that ammo charges would basically be what, like what are you charging? What weapon or resource are you charging for this? Yeah, much like with the prologue, I am just assuming that your characters have a basic, like mid-ranged firearm and melee option. That way you don't have to be like, okay, I need to buy freaking auto fire for this pistol I have. But no, if you wanted like a machine gun, then you could do like a auto fire. And the condition we can replace with tool. So if the ammo charges, you want to be like a, like a rifle or a gun or some sort, we can change condition to tool. It will just give you a different sorry, ammo charge kind of requires it to be not a tool. So yeah, it would be kind of something from your character.
Yeah. No, as you were talking, you got me thinking, and I don't want to do that anymore. But I think I landed on it. I want to take flight.
Ooh.
I want to take armor.
Okay, flight and armor. All right, so armor will go under superstructure, and flight will go under auxiliary.
Nice. Armor and flight. Like if a situation calls for me taking a bunch of damage, I will do it anyway, so I might as well have armor. And then flight seems like it's a helpful auxiliary to have in numerous situations, whether it's escape or recon or getting somewhere quickly and getting over terrain, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I think that's good.
All right.
But what, like, are you gonna understand the drawbacks? Because I don't.
Okay, so flight is situation plus movement. So the drawback, I would say, would be you would need the room to fly, and basically it only works in air. So if you're underwater, can't fly. If you're in the space, can't fly. So I'm going to say like 90% of the time you can probably fly, but there are a few instances where you will be unable to. And armor is specifically physical damage, and there are mental attacks that the kaiju can perform, so you are not guarded against those.
That is fair. Okay, they're not like crazy drawbacks.
No, no.
They seem to make sense.
Yeah,
Or
and
are you? Oh, you're making these up, eh?
a little.
Okay, so you are kind.
Well, armor does specifically say physical attacks.
Okay.
So attacks that aren't physical ignore armor, and I'm basing flight off of my horribly, horribly basic understanding of aerodynamics.
That's fair.
Alright, so that is you, and we are now at D for his mech.
Mm-hmm.
So, under sample abilities, there is a drone slash minion. You have an assistant capable of taking a separate action on your turn, spin an inspiration and instruct them to on what they should do. They form their own dice pool by choosing one trait from each of your traits, and you reduce their impact by 1. So, basically, they get...
How much inspiration do we have on average to spend?
Inspiration, let's see, you can gain by, okay, sorry. You can gain inspiration by invoking the, drawback of certain abilities. So, for instance, going back to ammo, if you inflict yourself with basically the reload debuff, you gain an inspiration. Alternatively, you gain inspirations when a crit, or when you perform a crit. Let's see. Okay, yeah, sorry. I was also looking at succeed at a cost, but that costs you an inspiration. Yeah, let me go back to the inspiration portion of the thing. I believe you might also produce inspiration when failing. It's oh, there's inspiration. On page 88. Inspiration represents last-minute death-defying extreme actions. Gain 1 point of inspiration at the beginning of each scene, so you will always start with 1. Also gain inspiration due to certain in-game events, so... Inspiration it's kind of the same as in D&D and other tabletops, where you're just kind of rewarded them for doing stuff. And you also start with 1.
So here's the thing. I kind of like augury.
All right, let me find
But it
those powers.
But it says you must have a detection or supernatural ability of some kind to use this. And I don't know if I have that.
Okay, let's see if there is a radar style ability. Okay, there is not.
So, what is it called? Observation.
Observation. Okay, sweep the scene quickly with advanced detection abilities. Alright, so augury. Yeah. Augury seems difficult to justify without a supernatural ability. So, yeah, I would say maybe observation for that kind of thing.
Is there a possibility for me to gain a supernatural ability later down in the game?
Yes.
Okay.
I do have ideas.
Okay. Then I think yeah, probably drone and observation then, I guess.
All right, so I believe those might both be auxiliary.
Wah, wah.
All right, so give yourself those. And we have
Where do I write them down?
so underneath name you have aspects, underneath aspects you have style. Under styles is values, and under values is mecha.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one, auxiliary, you put your drones and your observation there.
Like under system or just next to the die?
Oh yeah. Under system.
Okay.
Like you guys get to name those systems. So it could be like Eyes of Metatron and so on and so forth. But yeah, the system is going to be the name for this. Go ahead and put like drone minion in parentheses or something next to it so that we know what to look up when you use them. All right. And when you're finished with that, we have one more piece of character building that does not involve the mech or the character names. And these are the XP you gained in the previous session. So, you guys got the max amount of XP. I'm going to pin the XP page real quick in the Discord. So that has just been pinned. You guys got the max amount of 12 XP for that last mission. And you have options. Some of these are kind of rebuilding your character or kind of getting rerolls. But you can also do some things like add a new power, talent, or tool to the character. Or add a perk to an existing power or talent or tool. So, for instance, if you wanted to give your drones sorry, let me just scroll up. Yeah, if you wanted to give your drones the impact aspect, that would give them 2 impacts towards a specific outcome, which would kind of counteract their impact debuff kind of thing. Or, if you wanted to, you could give yourself a supernatural ability by adding a new power to your character.
There you go. Possibly.
Yeah. So, basically, due to getting 12 XP for that, you can either get 1 new possibilities or 2 new perspectives. As we have just built these characters, the new perspectives probably aren't that big for you guys. Unless you wanted to rearrange your mech dice and then have like, okay, I have made power a D10, but auxiliary down to a D4, but I'm going to spend 5 XP to make that auxiliary a D8 again. or you can add a D4 to the to the pool that a power has, or increase the power of a D4 in a power or talent or tool to a D6. So, let's see. You guys didn't pick very many offensive abilities. But let's take observation for instance. You could add a D4 to observation. So you would boost a die when you go to roll, and you'd add a D4 to it. That kind of thing for new perspectives. But new possibilities are things like just giving your character a new talent or power. Adding a new perk to an existing talent or power. You can gain a construction point, so you could just get a whole new ability. You can gain 1 health or 1 mental health, a tenacity or a vigor. You can raise a D6 to a D8. You can raise a D4 to a D6. Or you can remove a drawback from one of your powers. And those are all 10 XP each. If I explained any of those poorly, just let me know.
I already spent 10, so.
All right. What did you buy?
I bought. You know what? No. I don't wanna go mechanics over character. I put subtle to D6, so I can have D6 in everything. But I can't. Now that I was about to say it, I'm like, wait, no, I want him to be bad at that. So never mind. So let's say I take a new power.
Mm-hmm.
What is is that part like the power in a mech?
Okay, so here are the things. Powers
That's the only place I'm seeing power.
So the powers are one of those things where it can be a mech thing or it can be a player thing. So the ability it shows, the ability it shows you in, for the example, is a jetpack. Spend an inspiration to gain narrative permission to use this aspect. That's basically a jetpack on a human. So yeah, that is kind of, at least the way I'm reading it, how this tree is working for these things being on a character. With things like the flight, that is a mech power. But you can kind of...
I can't strap a jetpack to my mech. Is that what you're telling me?
No, you have a jetpack on your mech.
Oh, yeah, true.
But if you want a jetpack for your dude, you can either have... Yeah, you can either have the power by itself, in which case it needs narrative permission and you have to spend an inspiration to use it. Or you can have it kind of as a permanent tool your character can use, but it will have a drawback of some sort, like fuel or limited range, that kind of thing.
Okay, I'm imagining a scene.
Mm-hmm.
My mech is like on the haywire, it's on the fritz, but we're in battle. I eject out. What do I want on me? Other than, like you said, can we also already have like a personal weapon, or should I buy that, quote unquote?
So for the sake of narrative, for the sake of narrative, your characters have a basic like mech assault force handgun and like combat knife. Like, you're not totally unarmed, but it's like the most basic, like, XCOM pistol you can have. If you wanted to have, like, a shotgun, you would want blast. And it would be, like, area plus tool. And that would be your shotgun.
What about rocket shoes?
Rocket shoes. Yeah, if you wanted...
Like jetpack, but instead of giving me, like, flight, it just, like, lets me, like, move faster. So, like
that...
you know.
Yeah, that is a ability. 1 second. I am looking for it quickly. Okay, there is Nitro. Nope, well, maybe. So Nitro is you put on a sudden burst of power. Once per scene, you can take 2 actions. Afterwards, you gain a condition and a d6 to demonstrate your exertion. But there is also Supersonic. You're capable of moving at speeds that put you beyond the reach of others. You may use this move to go to beyond range, which is... So you have nearby... Or no, you have close, which is melee. Nearby, which is short range. Far, which is long range. And beyond is very long range.
So it's like Cypher.
Yes.
I think it's another system. It's just that. Okay. I think supersonic sounds good. I don't want to exert myself to the point of not being able to do anything once I get there. If that's one of the drawbacks.
Mm-hmm.
But not being able to attack anyone else that's not moving, that's good and cool. Because then if there is somebody moving at supersonic speed, then we can have like a supersonic turn of attacking. That seems freaking awesome.
All right, and supersonic is for your pilot.
If you will allow it.
Yeah, just make a note of it somewhere. Supersonic rocket shoes. All right, and that will be your 10 XP. All right, so okay, so you have 2 XP left over. So just, yeah, I guess mark that over in the XP column.
Perfect.
So D, do you have any ideas for how you wish to spend your XP?
I think I am indeed going to take a power.
All right. All right, so yeah, if you would like the ability to have kind of this like supernatural sixth sense kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking something along the lines of like random prophetic visions or something like that.
Fantastic.
You purchase on plot hooks and stuff.
That is fantastic because I was going to suggest unstable for the drawback.
Damn. Oh, okay.
All right, so let's see. Are there any
You thought you were going into battle with a supremely equipped observer, but instead you got Rasputin.
All right, so let's. This one's kind of a custom power. So let's just look at the perks.
Okay.
Let's see. You can give yourself advantage when using these psychic powers of yours. Let's see. You could perhaps use them to inflict stress upon enemies. Oh, you could give yourself the narrative perk, where you can add a fact to the scene which does not have a mechanical benefit.
Okay.
What?
You could also have an action.
Can you elaborate?
I did. Narrative perk. Add a fact to the scene that does not have a mechanical benefit. Examples. Civilian power grids are shut down in the area. Use of this ability is seen as beneficial to society by those in power. So yeah, it's basically you decide on a fact, and that fact is now fact.
Interesting.
But how can that possibly not have a mechanical effect?
I think it's one of those things where it's generic enough that you can't exploit it, but maybe someone else can burn their impacts to make that a thing they can exploit. It's narrative seems very, very loosey-goosey. Let's see. I'm not going to say inspiration. Because, well, okay, let's look at unstable. This ability has a tendency to be unreliable. Apply a cumulative -1 modifier to your action total each time this is used. Modifier remains until the end of the scene. Create a rating 1 condition representing the growing instability of this ability. The condition does not affect how you use this ability, but it can be invoked by opponents when appropriate. So basically, due to you being unused to these psychic premonitions, people can exploit that in times of your visions. And if you roll a fumble using this ability, it shuts down for the remainder of the scene. Okay, and the ability shuts down after each use, so it's like you get that for that turn. And you have to spend a impact to reactivate the ability. And every time you reactivate it, it increases the cost by 1. So I feel like for gaining supernatural visions, this is a decent enough drawback. So
Yeah.
So yeah, you want premonitions. So such a... Sorry, I'm just reading some stuff. Okay, so action lets you spend an inspiration to take a second action. So you use your first action to use your premonitions, and you get your dice up, and you roll your information, and then you can take a pot shot with your second action with all of that stuff.
Okay. I am going to rely on you knowing all of that.
Oh boy. Or advantage, you could be like, I want to use my premonitions to, figure out how to hurt this kaiju. Then you get advantage on that roll. Or you can do boon, where when you use your action, you can when you spend an impact on a specified action, create a specific boon for yourself or an ally equal to half that impact. So you spend your impact, or you spend your action to learn something, and then whatever that impact is, you half it, and that's the level of boon you can give to yourself or someone else. So it's like, if you roll 4 impact, then you get a boon of 2, which is basically a d6 that someone can roll. And
are these are these modalities of the ability, or is this a thing that I need to choose now for how it manifests always?
We can change how the ability works later on. Like I've basically So yeah, I'm basically going to kind of give everyone a soft reroll for in between sessions. So like if your mech doesn't work at how you want, you can refund your construction points and rebuild it. For things like CJ's rocket boots, he could trade those in for different rocket boots.
Better rocket boots?
Maybe. And I would say that we can change your supernatural ability in the future. But for now, for now, how you want it to be is how we're going to try and build it. But if that doesn't come out to work right, we can change it in between missions.
I think we can go with the one where I create a boon.
Okay. So yeah, that is. So we have boon and unstable for premonitions. Go ahead and make a note of that somewhere, probably in the notes section, with your premonitions. And yeah, just copy the text for boon from page 52.
Page 52. Boon. We have.
And with unstable, we will hopefully remember to just look that up because that is a bit of a block of text.
Yeah.
But yeah, just be sure to put like boon plus unstable somewhere in the notes for that.
Yep.
And you will also have 2 XP left over. And yeah, barring the names of the characters and the mechs, and figuring out motive and machinations for you specifically, we are kind of finished. So do you guys know what names you would want to give these characters and robots? Or is that a thing to percolate on before the next game?
Percolates. There's no way.
Percolate? Fair enough.
What I come up with right now it will be terrible tomorrow morning.
You know what? That is perfectly fair. So yeah, I will... Peanut brittle. Alright, so I will pester you guys for the next month.
I absolutely have my character name.
Oh boy.
It is Augustus Crimp.
Crimp.
Yo, Crimp is great.
Augustus Crimp.
That is fantastic. Alright. So we have Augustus Crimp and unnamed hot-headed chutzpah hero.
Hot-headed chutzpah.
That's his name.
You have to include the phlegm.
Chutzpah.
Yes. Hot-headed chutzpah.
But yes, I will pester you guys for the next month on the character designs and the mech designs, as well as pestering other people who had the audacity to not show up. But yeah, hopefully next session we will have people with functioning characters and mechs and 3 to 4 players. All right.
Can't wait.
Yeah. All right. So, I guess we will now do outros. So, CJ, you're in alphabetical order.
Hey, thanks for listening. I hope you learned as much as I did today. If you want to learn more about other systems, you can watch more episodes of this podcast that you're listening to, because it's great for that. However, if you want to learn more about pretty much one system, because that's all we're playing right now, D&D, you can come over to the Hexagon TTRPG over on YouTube or Twitch, where I'm not currently DMing, so you can see me kind of, phone it in. No, I'm joking. You can see me have fun with wacky characters and make terrible decisions and watch my DMs crumble beneath the weight of deciding not to kill my characters. You can also find me at Cloud, Klaoed. I realized today that now that I'm not on Twitter, I'm not really doing much on social media, so just follow my Instagram. That's where I post the most. And that's me.
Fair enough. All right. D, who are you and how'd you get in here?
What? Why? Hi. I didn't see you there. I am D, or Night Wonder. That's Wonder with an O. And I do stuff. Within... Well, I don't know when this is airing. So at some point in time, before, after, or during the airing of this episode, I will have begun, or will be about to have begun, DMing a Cypher System superhero-themed game over on Would Be Heroes.
Oh boy.
I also stream on my own Twitch, Night Wonder. That's Wonder with an O. Currently, the games that I'm streaming are Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition, the absolute fucking golden nugget of Disco Elysium, which I have just discovered and was in love with from the very first sentence. Also, a game in which I managed to kill myself by turning on a light bulb. And Dragon Age Inquisition. You can catch me doing that on Twitch, Night Wonder, Wonder with an O. And you can find all of my stuff on a Linktree thing that I forgot the link of, but try something like nightwonder.linktree.something.
Yeah, I'll find it and toss it in the description.
But yes, stop. That's what happened. Yes.
All right. And I've been John, the Wrangler of Marmots over here. I can be found obviously here and at social media at crimsbacon, streaming with Rob, another player who you may or may not recognize from this podcast, maybe not this particular campaign, over on his channel, Born Immortal. I too am also, because I have no control over my life, running a game for Would-Be Heroes, in which I am using the break system. And I will also, due to aforementioned having no control of my life, be playing in D's superhero game and punching my microphone, apparently. So, yeah, I'm playing a lot of games. Yeah. And yeah, I think that will be it for now. We will see people next time. Bye!